peer group that I've grown up in. I've been to primary school, I've spent a large part of my life in, has all been in and around the Macquarie Marshes. It's my family, it's our kids. Well, I grew up here as a kid, so for me, I've got a healthy, happy family, and I've got a healthy business. The health of the marsh is directly aligned with the health and the productivity of my business. 60, 80 years ago, everybody was guilty of trying to dominate the landscape. I like to think we've learnt from a lot of failures that have cost us economically. After 4 generations of our family living here, I actually think we are starting to become somehow connected. It's a constant learning, the peeling back the layers of how it works and the role that the marshes play as a massive 200,000 hectare filter for the water that connects to the Bow and Darling. Fat ducks mean fat cattle is a short summary of how grazing cattle in and adjacent to the marshes is how the marshes have evolved.
Macquarie Marshes are a network of streams and wetlands that stretch for about 100 kilometres. They make a system, a wetland system with quite significant environmental values, mainly due to the way they're arranged and the hole that they make from all their different little parts. About 10% of the Macquarie Marshes wetland system is listed as Ramsar wetland, which is an international classification recognising their value to the world. The other 90% of the system is still great, it just hasn't been classified as Ramsar. But more than that, the Macquarie Marshes, I think, is an icon. The massive colonial waterbird breeding that goes on, the largest river red gum forest in the Northern Basin. So 2020 is a year of many things. For us, it's a year of drought recovery. So the Macquarie Marshes took a big hit over the record drought of the last 3 years. Particularly in 2019, when the system was fully dry, the wetland plants were dry for over 12 months. And so we've prioritised the growth of those wetland systems this year, and we're able to use water for the environment since the start of October to achieve that target. The managed portion of water for the environment in the Macquarie catchment is a mixture of water that's provided by the water sharing plans. Also, there's a quantity that's been purchased by the New South Wales government and also recovered by the Commonwealth. And we use those 3 sources in one bucket and use it in collaboration with the Environmental Water Advisory Group for this catchment. So the water that we're seeing coming down the river into the marshes at the moment is primarily coming from Burrendong Dam. We're finding great response in the wetland vegetation out here in the Macquarie Marshes. We're also able to get those targets on the way through with the Murray cod and their spawning.
So yeah, Murray cod are the #1 apex predator in the Murray-Darling Basin. They're a very beautiful fish to look at, and they've been around in the basin for millions and millions of years. Because the environment has a parcel of water that's held in impoundments, we can use that water at specific times of year to target breeding events. So for something like the Murray cod, we can send the water down in spring when the water temperatures are at the perfect level and provide good stable water flows for Murray cod and at the right temperature, and have a big boost in productivity. What we're seeing so far is lots of larvae in the system, so it's worked.
The 1 in 20 year events, they're not major drivers of that ecosystem function. The median flows are the major drivers of ecosystem function. So the median flows have been removed. They're captured by upstream dams and they're interfered with by river operators. The marshes have gone from being wet the majority of the time with an occasional dry period, to dry the majority of the time with an occasional wet period. Those occasional wet periods are environmental water. The environmental flows are critical to try and mimic the medium flow events that the marshes evolved under. If there's no environmental water in the Macquarie, the marshes will be ruined. It'll become a desert landscape.
You know, the more I've come to know the marshes, the more significant I feel it is, and something I take very seriously, particularly in the management of such a significant public asset of environmental water.